For beginner players or really anyone who uses a keyboard to practice or maybe programming MIDI, the M-Audio SP-2 Universal Sustain pedal is a great option at a really affordable price. There's lots of pedals to choose from, but I always recommend this one to my students for a few reasons, and I've got a link for it down below in the description if you want to check it out. If you're new here, this channel is your guide through developing all the different skills and knowledge you need to become a better piano player and musician. So if that's something you want to do, consider clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything you need to learn. So this is a universal pedal, should work with any keyboard as long as your keyboard has a sustain pedal input, which you just plug this 1/4" jack into like any other pedal and it should just work straight away. So the really important feature of this pedal is actually on the back. It has a polarity switch, which is why they call it a universal pedal. Basically, some keyboards and pedals are wired the opposite way around. Obviously, when you push the pedal down, it's meant to sustain the notes and then release them when you lift it up. But if the polarities are backwards, it's going to work the opposite way around, which you don't want. So with this pedal, if it works backwards on your keyboard, you just flick that switch. And not all pedals have that feature. The switch is actually a little bit fiddly, but that's probably a good thing so it doesn't accidentally switch back, and it's not the kind of thing you want to change all the time. So the pedal feels really well made. It's a really solid build. It's nice and heavy, which you want so it doesn't slip away. What you're really after in a pedal like this is for it to emulate a real piano. And this lever here doesn't feel too stiff, doesn't feel too loose. It feels really nice. You can feel the control, which is what we're after. This pedal I've borrowed off one of my students. This is the pedal that I use. This is a bit more expensive, but the action on the lever pretty much feels exactly the same, even though this one's cheaper. They feel a very similar weight too. They both have a really nice design. I do think I prefer the Roland a little bit, just the finish and the shape of it, but that's pretty superficial. The M-Audio has a rubber grip mat on the bottom to help it stop slipping away when you're using it, whereas the Roland has this flippy out bit to put your foot on, which is kind of cool. So the reason I'm comparing it to that one quickly is just to show you what the difference is between a slightly more expensive one and a slightly cheaper one. And there's really not a lot in it, to be honest. There's the design things that I just mentioned, but the essential function of the pedal is basically just as good on this one. So essentially the pedal is just an off and on trigger. Now this one actually does support something called half pedaling, where you can control the pedal a bit more, which is part of the reason it's a bit more expensive. But if you've got more of an entry-level keyboard that doesn't support half pedaling as well, then that's a bit of a pointless feature to spend the money on. So essentially this pedal does exactly everything you need it to. It feels good to use, it's sturdy, it's solid, it's well made. It's at a really good price for what you get. I think it's very, very good value for money, and this is the pedal that I always recommend. If you want to take a look at the other pedals too and prefer the other designs like the Yamaha or the Roland, then I'll put a few links in the description for those too, but they are a bit more expensive, and be aware that certain brands of pedals won't work with certain brands of keyboards. Matching brands I think should be fine. If not, then make sure to do some research and check reviews first though. I hope that review was helpful. If it was, please give the video a like and subscribe for more content to help you develop your piano playing. Thanks for watching.